there everybody, today's video is going to be for you furniture painters or even you antique booth sellers or you Etsy sellers, anybody that's trying to sell something beautiful that they've created. We're going to talk about how you can stage and take great pictures of the items that you're selling. Okay, so when I started my business 10 years ago, I was painting furniture and taking pictures of it to put it on social media, and I started a blog, and I quickly learned the value of a really beautiful picture. And I'm gonna be honest with you, my first pictures were not very great. So I'm showing some of them right now as we speak. You can see they weren't amazing. But over time, over the last 10 years, I've continued to practice and work on taking good pictures. I want to be really practical with you guys today, really down to earth, and we're just going to talk about how you can use what you have in your home to create very, very beautiful pictures of the things that you're selling, because I really, really do believe that having a beautiful picture will help you sell your items for more money and faster. All right, so before I jump into sharing all of the tips and walking through this with you guys, I want you to buy into this idea of why you need a great photo. Because you're not just selling your furniture or the items in your antique booth or whatever, you're selling the idea of a beautiful home. Now, if you are painting furniture, if you're finding items for an Etsy store, you guys that are watching this video, most likely you have a creative spirit, a creative soul, and you know how to decorate. You know how to pull things together for a look. But you guys, not everybody is like that, right? I want you to think right now about your friend who's always asking you to come over and help them decorate because they just can't see it. They can't figure out how to create what they see in their mind. Think about when you're looking through those beautiful home decor magazines that you get in the mail, Pottery Barn, Ballard Designs, those are some of my favorites, right? Yes, they have pictures of some of the individual stuff they're selling, but what's most of the pictures? It's these beautiful staged rooms, right? That's because they're selling the idea of, if you purchase this sofa or this set of prints or this vase or whatever from us, then you can have a room that's beautiful like this, okay? So that's the work that we have to do. And mostly in this video, we're gonna talk about painted furniture. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna stage a piece of painted furniture. But if you follow along, even if you're not a furniture person, I think where you're gonna learn some things about staging pictures of your antique booth, maybe items that you're putting on your website, items that you're putting on Etsy. The same idea applies. You are selling the image of a beautiful home and how your item can help whoever's going to purchase it create this beautiful home. And I promise it does make a difference in how well your item sells. Okay, so I have got 4 tips that I'm going to share with you today. And as I'm sharing these, we're also going to walk through the staging of a piece that I have right here in my kitchen that we're going to take some photos of today. Okay, so tip number 1 is that you have to find a spot that has good natural light. I take all the pictures of my furniture and things that go in my online store. I take those here in my house, and I have 2 spots that have good natural light. I have the front room, and then I've got this back part of my kitchen. There's not great natural light in my living room, and so I don't take pictures in there. Okay, so I have to utilize these specific spots in my house because a good quality photo, anything that you're putting on camera, always does best in natural light. So you don't want to be in a dark room where you're having to turn on a lot of overhead lights or where you're having to manually brighten up your photos a whole lot after you take them. Natural light is your best friend. All right, so in my house right now, I have basically one wall that works for me. It's in my kitchen, and when I'm ready to take a picture of a piece of furniture, yes, I have to scoot some stuff out of the way. When I'm taking product photos in my front room, I have a big piece of whiteboard that I set up, and I stage things there. So now, you know, that may sound like way too much work for you, Melanie. Why would I want to move stuff out? I'm taking pictures of furniture maybe once a month, twice a month. If you're doing it more often than that, then it could be useful to build yourself a staging wall, something that you can kind of slide away. There's a gajillion videos on YouTube that can show you how to do that, so I'm not going to go through that here. But again, I'm a big fan of just working with what I've got. And so for 10 years now, I have been just picking a wall in my house, sliding some furniture out of the way, and staging my photos. Okay, tip number 2 is you want to match the accessories that you're gonna use for your staging with the style of your piece. So I want you to think about the color and the tone of the piece that you've painted. If it is bright colors, if it's cool colors, if it's warm colors. I also want you to think about the style. Is it a very feminine piece with lots of curves and details? Is it a more masculine piece that's got very sharp lines and angles? Is it a mid-century modern piece? Is it a Victoria era piece? So if you're taking a picture of a mid-century modern piece of furniture, you don't want to stage it with, you know, shabby chic, chippy ironstone. That's just not gonna fit, right? So you wanna match the elements that you're using to fit kind of the style and the decor of the piece of furniture that you're taking a picture of. I also want you to think about how busy the piece of furniture is. So for this one example, it has this large transfer on the front of it, this really busy floral design. So I'm not going to use a ton else to go with it. I'm not going to put something else that's really busy, a busy piece of art hanging above it, right? Because that's gonna be too much in the photo. So a good rule of thumb is the simpler your piece of furniture is, the more you can play with the styling. The busier the design of your piece of furniture, the more simple your styling needs to be. Okay, tip number 3, I want you to create a scene with your furniture. Again, you're not trying to sell real life. You're trying to sell an idea. So you don't have to necessarily style it with what you would style it with if you're putting it in your house. You don't have to create something that looks realistic. You can put crates and boxes and other stuff around it that, you know, if it's a dresser in your house, you're not necessarily going to have a crate sitting in front of it because then you can't open the drawer, right? That doesn't matter though when you're selling the idea. It doesn't have to look functional. It needs to look beautiful. You want to create a scene. Okay, so the last tip that I have is for you just to teach yourself or learn some basic photography skills. Again, I'm not talking about anything super professional. I don't have any professional training in photography, but just some basic photography skills. So this is the camera that I use when I'm wanting to get really good pictures of things. So I'll share the link for it in the video description. I purchased it on Amazon. It is a Nikon D50-300. And then you have to purchase a lens separately. And so this is a 50mm lens. I'll also share the link for that. So, I mean, yes, this is a nice camera. I think it was $400 to $500. I invested in it years ago, and I've used it over and over and over again. It's been a great investment. I also do use my iPhone on some pictures. I have a newer iPhone. It takes pictures really well for close-up things, but I have learned for like full furniture shots, my nice DSLR camera works a lot better. And it's what I use when I'm putting photos on my blog or when I'm listing things on Etsy. The photos that I take that go in my online shop of the vintage items that I'm selling, they're all taken on this camera. Another good thing, basic photography skill, is what they call the rule of thirds. So when you're taking a picture of something, you want to resist the urge to put everything right in the middle of the picture. Pictures are more well balanced when the focus is in 1/3, either to the left or to the right or to the top or to the bottom, okay? So you don't want to frame your picture where your piece of furniture is just right smack dab in the middle and you've got a ton of floor and a ton of ceiling. You want to put your piece of furniture lower down in the picture in the bottom third of the picture. And then you can even maybe play around if you want to scoot it over to the right or scoot it over to the left. But when you're framing a scene, think about that rule of thirds. And then my last basic tip of just, again, real basic photography skills is you want to shoot your piece of furniture at eye level. So you don't look down on it, because then that's going to make it look, you know, funky, like it's going to have weird lines. You kind of squat down and you shoot it straight on at eye level. So that means you're gonna have to get low to the floor. Okay, so here's just some items that I've gathered from my house. I've got some old books. I love to always use old books and my furniture, especially when it's an old antique piece like this. Got a little bit of greenery. This is going to kind of go with the greenery that's down here on the piece of furniture. Grabbed this pretty brass candelabra, and then I have this, you guys, I grabbed at a flea market, I mean, probably 7 years ago. And I hold on to it. I use it for staging in my furniture pictures all the time because it's just got that nice little bit of kind of vintage gold metallic on it, but it's not busy, like, because it's empty. There's not, you know, a busy print inside of it. It's an easy way to put something kind of in the back layer here without adding a whole bunch of other visual interests. Because this dresser is already pretty busy, I don't want to put a big busy piece of art up here like we talked about. You got to think about the furniture that you're working with. Having a big piece of art up here would just be way too much going on. So this process is really just about creating balance, and it takes a little bit of trial and error. You don't want too many textures or colors kind of clumped right together. You want to make sure that you're remembering that rule of thirds and that everything isn't just kind of clumped right in the middle of the piece of furniture. It's okay to just play with it a little bit, to try a couple of different arrangements, and so that's what I worked through. I decided that having that picture frame in landscape was just better balanced than having it standing up. And then I slid the candelabra over to that side because I felt when it was on the right, it was right next to that gold frame and it was a little too much gold all right there together. And snuck in just this little woven basket at the bottom. And it really has this kind of nice botanical feel now, which fits with the beautiful botanical transfer on the furniture. So here it is all finished, and now this piece of furniture just looks gorgeous. It looks luscious and elegant, and it looks like if you were to have this in your home, you would have such a gorgeous, stylish home. That's what I was going for. All the elements worked together, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today in this video. I hope that it was helpful for you. Again, go back and watch like my first ever pictures that I took of furniture. If you feel like, man, this seems really hard, like the more you do it, the better you get at it. I've been practicing this for a long time, but I hope that these basic tips give you a starting point and a place to work from. And again, it's not just for furniture, but it can be for anything in your creative business that as you're marketing it, you want to learn how to present it and sell it well to your potential customers. So if you're not a Lost and Found subscriber, I hope that you do subscribe to our channel. I invite you to join our community. I so appreciate anytime you guys drop us a like, thumbs up, leave us a comment, or subscribe. YouTube pays attention to all that kind of stuff, and all of that really helps support our channel. And of course, there's always an option to hit the super thanks button if you felt like this was helpful to your business, and you can leave our channel a tip for a little as $1.99 or whatever amount you like. That's super appreciated too. That helps support our channel. You guys are amazing. I hope that I've been able to help today, and I'm excited to see some of the beautiful pictures that you guys create, and good luck in your selling. See you soon.